Inducted in the athlete category, Alan Hobkirk was a staple in the defensive end for the men's national team in the 1970s. He was known for his leadership, toughness, and penalty corner goal scoring. Hobkirk got his start in Vancouver, BC with the Hawks Field Hockey Club, going on to play for UBC before joining the senior men's national team.
My first major breakthrough, if you like, was being asked to participate in the Hawks 69 tour of 10 countries in 65 days, 38 matches. It was and still is the most ambitious hockey tour I think ever undertaken by a North American team. I was 16. I don't know how my parents let me go. I was the youngest on the team. It was an eye-opening experience that exposed me to top-level hockey, especially in Australia and New Zealand. And from there it was a short leap to a provincial team in 1970 in Montreal, and then in 1971 I played for Canada for the first time. I was picked to go to Europe. Errol Hartley was the coach, John McBride the manager. We had 23 players, which was a lot in any day, but especially in those days when you didn't have more than 2 substitutions. We played in Holland, Germany, and Poland. We played in a very high-level pre-Olympic tournament. That was my first international match against Holland, played on the soon-to-be Olympic fields in Munich. The first game against Holland, I was extremely nervous, as you can imagine. I was marking a top flight winger. I was playing left half in that game. I was described in one paper the next day as a lumberjack. So I think we only lost 1-0. It was a pretty good result for Canada, but I suppose my reputation as a bit of a tough defender established itself right then and there.
Hobkirk went on to become team captain and was one of the most prolific penalty corner takers in Canadian hockey history.
In those days, as is the case now, penalty corners were a big part of the game, and I was Canada's penalty corner striker for the most part. We didn't flick the ball, we hit the ball. We had a fairly feared corner combination. So I wasn't really a natural goal scorer. I wasn't a forward, I was a defender, but I had the privilege of playing at the defensive end of the field where I could be a tough defender, not very fast, but tough, and at the other end of the field come up for the corners.
Hobkirk reflects fondly on his international career, highlighting the 1976 Montreal Olympics and the 1978 World Cup as particularly defining memories.
What really stands out, of course, were the Montreal Olympics in 1976. That was a tremendous thrill to play in one's home country. We knew we had qualified. We had a very good start to that tournament. We beat our arch rival Argentina 3-1, and after we'd done that, we really became the darling of the media. It lasted maybe 24 hours. In that game, my great teammate Reggie Plummer, was very seriously injured by an Argentinian stick, and he was out for the tournament. And had it not been for that injury, I think we could have done some surprising things at that Olympics. 1978, the World Cup in Buenos Aires, Argentina, was a tremendous thrill. We started off losing in the very last minute 4-3 to Germany, one of the best teams in the world. We then beat the reigning world champions India 3-1. We were riding high at that time. It was a very strong team, but then somewhat predictably we ended up losing to Poland and finished well out of the medals in that tournament.
Hobkirk played for Team Canada from 1971 until 1980. He then came out of retirement and made an emotional comeback for the 1983 Pan American Games in Caracas.
Then in January of 1983, I had 2 phone calls on the same day, one from Shiv Jagde, coach of the Canadian team, one from Victor Warren, who was president of the Field Hockey Association, confirming that the late Fred Hoos, who had succeeded me as captain of the team, had brain cancer, and would I consider making a comeback. The team wanted a little more experience and wanted some corners. So I made the comeback, and to put it in context, Fred Hoos had been born in Caracas, Venezuela, where the '83 Pan Ams were held. It had been his dream to win a gold medal in the country of his birth. And Fred actually made that team during his recovery from the brain cancer. We went down there, we won the gold medal. Dave Bissett was captain. It was an amazing final game. We'd finally done it.
Hobkirk officially hung him up after that Pan Am Games gold, and looking back, he cherishes the Canadian hockey community and is very thankful to those who contributed to his career.
I felt humble about that, but again, it was that feeling of gratitude for all those who had been part of my field hockey life up to now, up to the announcement, and thinking if I'm standing up, I'm surrounded by several dozen people who contributed greatly.
A truly world-class player, a great Canadian hockey ambassador on and off the field. Congratulations to Alan Hobkirk on his induction into the Field Hockey Canada Hall of Fame.